Hello everybody and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday morning, January the 27th. And time once again for the mailbag. Hope you guys have had a great week and a great weekend. Mine was, well, I mean, it was good, but it was away from here. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do very much channel stuff like I'd been planning to do, because this turned into one of those weeks where adulting sort of ended up having to take precedence. I had to go down to Austin for several days and do adult things there. Pretty much pertaining to some land that I bought a little less than a year ago up near Lake Travis, and now it looks like maybe plans as regards the development of that little piece of land are starting to take shape. So that's kind of cool, right? But I ended up having to go into town for that, and I have to go back, not this week, thank God, but the following week for more. So, yay. So this is going to be a pretty packed week where I'm going to try to get caught up on a lot of work that I'd been planning, and there's a big announcement today, a little bit later on in about 3 hours' time. So watch for that here on the channel. So, yeah. And I come home to a pretty nice mailbag, a decent-sized mailbag. So we're going to get into those now and not waste any more time and see what the mailman has brought us. I'm going to start with this one because I like to get these big old vacuum seal packages that I hate out of the way. But this one comes in from the Hachette group. And we're starting off this week with The Shadow Saint, which is by Gareth Hanrahan, and this is the second volume in the Black Iron Legacy. And this is following up on last year's book, The Gutter Prayer, and I have already gotten this as an e-arc, and then some friends of mine have already read this one, and say that it measures up very well to the first one. So, can't really give much in the way of spoilers, but I will say with his acclaimed debut, The Gutter Prayer, Gareth Hanrahan introduced a world of sorcerers and thieves, broken gods, and dangerous magic. The epic tale continues in this gripping second novel of the Black Iron Legacy. So, very enjoyable epic fantasy from all that I hear, and I'm very much looking forward to starting this series myself, but this is available now from Orbit. And next up we have one from Random Penguin. And this is an arc for The Queen's Bargain by Anne Bishop. This comes out in hardcover from Ace Books on March the 10th. And this is a new installment in her earlier series, the Black Jewels series, which is, an epic fantasy series, which is in contrast to the stuff that she's been working on a lot lately, which is a series called The Others, which I've looked at and doesn't really seem to be my thing. I think it's more urban fantasy, has a lot of the tropes of urban fantasy, like werewolves and stuff like that I find kind of tiresome. But this is more along the lines of traditional epic fantasy. And it says, fans of the series will be thrilled to recognize favorite characters, and unfamiliar readers will find the new characters and story arc a perfect entry point to the series. Okay. When The Black Jewels made its debut with Daughter of the Blood in 1998, it was praised as groundbreaking. Readers were enchanted by Bishop's powerful and sensual fantasy world, and the series quickly became a bestseller. This masterful dark fantasy has since become a classic in the genre and a favorite among both fantasy and romance readers. Yeah, I hear those books are just like absolutely chock full of hot sex, so that's your thing. Okay, it was recently included in Amazon's list of 100 sci-fi and fantasy books you should read in your lifetime. So there you go. What do we have this time? Lord Dillon's reputation is in tatters, leaving him vulnerable. To restore his reputation, he needs a handfast, a 1-year contract of marriage. He sets his sights on Gillian, a young witch from Ebon Ree. Unfortunately, Dillon is unaware of her true connections until he finds himself facing a volatile warlord prince of Ebon Ree. Oh dear. Suriel Ciadablo's marriage is crumbling. These names just are what they are, you guys. Her husband, Daemon Sadi, warlord prince of Demlan. Yep. Sorry, I'm just fumbling this all over the place, aren't I? Anyway, that guy recognizes there is something wrong between them, but he doesn't realize his attempt to suppress his nature is causing his mind to splinter. To save him, help must be sought from someone who no longer exists in any of the realms, the queen known as Witch. All right, so there you go. That's what this is. The Queen's Bargain. available in hardcover from Ace on the 10th of March. Okay, well, this one is in from HarperCollins. All right, this turned out to be exactly what I was expecting it to be. This is The Puzzler's War, the finished copy, from Harper Voyager. It's by Israeli author Eyal Kless, and it is the follow-up to The Lost Puzzler. This comes out February the 4th. I believe this is a duology. I have started The Lost Puzzler, by the way, with the intention of doing a back-to-back read review of the two books. So, look for that forthcoming. But this speculative adventure explores what happens when secrets are finally unlocked and technology long since buried once again finds its way into the hands of mankind. So, can't really give much in the way of a synopsis. As usual, you know how that litany goes, due to spoilers for Book 1. But I'm enjoying how The Lost Puzzler is getting off the ground a bit. The author is bringing in some very D&D-ish fantasy tropes, even though this is kind of a little bit straddling the line between fantasy and science fiction. But he's doing it in a way that has a lot of wit. And so it's starting off to be kind of a fun read, and I'll be very interested to see where it goes. But The Puzzler's War, the sequel, will be out, as I said, from Harper Voyager on February the 4th. And here we have a white envelope. That means it's Macmillan time. And this one is the finished copy of A Queen in Hiding. The author is Sarah Kozloff. It's a debut novel. And this is the first book in a 4-volume epic fantasy series that Tor is releasing back-to-back over 4 months. And this one actually has already come out. It came out last week, January the 21st. It says it spans the course of 12 years. Kozloff's sweeping debut fantasy is the first in the 9 Realms series, and it introduces a vast cast and an intricate universe. A Queen in Hiding is the first installment of debut author Sarah Kozloff's sweeping cinematic epic fantasy series, The 9 Realms. Readers won't have to wait to binge the whole series, because Tor Books is publishing this series on an accelerated schedule, releasing 1 thrilling book of the quartet per month from January through April. In Book 1, readers meet Cerulia, Princess of Wyrendale. When she and her mother are forced from the throne by unknown raiders, the two escape together and Cerulia is moved to a modest home in a nearby village. Here she must grow up in disguise under an assumed name. The young queen must master the magic that is her birthright, become a ruthless guerrilla fighter, and transform into the queen that she is destined to be to avenge her mother's death and wrest control of the stolen throne from a corrupt aristocracy whose rot has spread throughout her kingdom. And time is running out as the usurper is leading searches for the missing princess, under the impression that Cerulia is the last remaining threat to his power. Okay, it's described as a gripping feminist coming-of-age tale set in the fully realized world of Inia Mon. Okay, Cerulia may be alone, but as the series progresses, she works with the spirits who play a role in mortal affairs and the animals she's able to communicate with to assemble an unlikely group of rebels, delivering a fresh, riveting fantasy series. Okay, so there you go. And it's kind of interesting. I've gotten, now, this in, physical form, and I have an e-arc of Book 4, but I don't have Books 2 and 3 yet. Such is the curious, strange life of the reviewer. Okay, but this one is out now. A Queen in Hiding by Sarah Kozloff. And these are going to be 2 books from Tor.com Publishing, so very nice to have these. I appreciate it very much. This first one is a short novel called Hearts of Oak. The author is Eddie Robeson. This comes out March the 17th. The buildings grow and the city expands, and the people of the land are starting to behave abnormally. Or perhaps they've always behaved that way, and it's normality that's at fault. Our hero, close to retirement, finds that the world she has always known is nothing like she always believed it to be. There are dark forces. Wait, not dark. There are uncanny forces. No, not uncanny either. There are forces anyway, mostly slightly odd ones, and they appear to be acting in mysterious ways. It's about town planning, it's about talking cats, and it's about the nature of reality. A delightful science fiction adventure from the creator of the acclaimed Welcome to Our Village, Please Invade Carefully. Okay, cute. This is interesting. Sounds a bit, I was going to say it sounds a bit China Mieville-ish, with maybe a little more, cockeyed humor involved. And the blurb on the front by Paul Cornell says it's Philip K. Dick with the calm, smooth voice of Christopher Priest. So there's that guideline to go by. But anyway, Hearts of Oak will be out from Tor.com. And finally, this one has been missing me for weird reasons over the last few months. This is one that actually came out well back in November. And I mean, I just griped about it finally to the right person, so thank you. But they finally sent me The Menace from Farside by Ian MacDonald. This is a novella set in the universe of his Luna, New Moon, and all of those, that series. So I'm very happy to have this. This one has gotten absolutely spectacular reviews so far that I've read. And let's see, it just goes, remember, Lady Luna knows 1,000 ways to kill you, but family is what you know. Family is what works. Cariad Kokorin has a new sister who is everything she is not. Tall, beautiful, confident. They are unlikely allies and even unlikelier sisters, but they're determined to find the moon's first footprint, even if the lunar frontier is doing its best to kill them before they get there. All right, The Menace from Farside. Title evokes a little bit of a Heinlein homage there, but looks like it's going to be a really cool, fun story, and it is available from Tor.com. And moving on down, second to the last package, this one comes in from Random Penguin. Okay, this one looks kind of intriguing. In fact, I got contacted by the publicist for this one, and I was like, yeah, cool, send it on. This is for a book called The Mother Code. It comes out on May the 5th. According to the sell sheet here, it has already been optioned by Steven Spielberg's production company, and it is described as being for fans of Andy Weir's The Martian and Blake Crouch's Dark Matter. The author is Carol Stivers, and she is a Silicon Valley biochemist. And sell sheet here says she's come up with an idea so original and mind-bending that long before the book's release, the film rights, as I just said, were snapped up. So in a hotly contested auction, oh my goodness, all right. It explores a world where machines are entrusted to raise the last generation of Earth's surviving children. In the Mother Code, the year is 2049. When a U.S. attempt at biowarfare goes awry, a team of scientists is engaged to ensure human survival on Earth. Their best efforts fail, and they must turn to their last resort, a plan to place genetically engineered children inside the cocoons of robots to be incubated, birthed, and raised by these machines, which have been programmed with the latest advances in artificial intelligence, the Mother Code. Designed to mimic the voice and decision-making of real women left behind, the Mother Code is the scientists' best efforts to raise the next generation of children as they might have been. Something tells me the last time I was scrolling along on Netflix, I saw a movie called something like Mother, which I think was about like a little girl, and she's the only little girl, and she has a mama robot, and so I've kind of seen this. But anyway, okay, well, let's move on. The story is told alternately through the eyes of scientists, as they race the clock, laboring to guarantee a future on Earth, and the children who come later. Among those children is Kai, whose one anchor in this world is his AI mother, Rosie. While the use of AI in a futuristic novel is hardly new, Stiver's skill at evoking the emotion of Rosie herself, and Kai's unbreakable connection with her, adds something new to the landscape of science fiction. Could be a little bit something of also the relationship between Susan Calvin as a little girl and Robbie the robot in iRobot. Probably influenced this, perhaps. Okay, a meditation on motherhood, the limitations of artificial intelligence, and the drive for survival. The Mother Code combines the suspenseful pacing, cinematic storytelling, and emotional heart that have propelled the success of novelists like Andy Weir and Michael Crichton, bringing readers into the mesas of Arizona, the backrooms of Washington, and into San Francisco's desolate and abandoned Presidio complex. The Mother Code offers an intimate and hopeful story about what it means to be both a parent and a child. But this one, as I said, comes out on May the, what did I say already? May the 5th. Okay, from Berkeley Publishing. And we are wrapping it up this week with this nice chunker of a box from the Hachette Group. And this is a package of 3 very nice looking books indeed, and very well packaged, I might say. Thank you, Hachette people, for really taking care of your review copies when you ship them. This first one is a book called A Witch in Time. It's from the Red Hook imprint. The author is Constance Sayers. And, as you see, this is a finished copy, so I guess it's out imminently, or probably now. Let's see what it's all about. Is there a sell sheet? Usually not. That's the one thing they leave out, but it's okay. Well, let's see what we have. It says it is a bewitching tale of passion, reincarnation, and magic. Helen Lambert has lived several lives: a young piano virtuoso in 1890s Paris, an actress in 1930s Hollywood, a rock star in 1970s Los Angeles. Only she doesn't know it, until she meets a strange man who claims he's watched over her for centuries, bound to her from the beginning. At first, Helen doesn't believe him. Well, yeah, because, every guy uses that line, right, when he's trying to pick you up. Her life is as normal as any other modern career woman's. Then she begins having vivid dreams about ill-fated love and lives cut short. Caught in a curse, Helen will be forced to relive the same tragic events that ruined her previous lives. But with each rebirth, she develops uncanny powers. And as the most powerful version of herself, Helen must find a way to break the curse before her time runs out. Okay, then. Appears to be a fantasy novel with certainly a definite romantic slant going on. But A Witch in Time, coming from Red Hook Publishing. And then next is a book that I've had as an e-arc for a little while, but this is coming out from Orbit. The author is Luke Arnold, and it's called The Last Smile in Sunder City. And let's see what it's a terrific cover. By the way, some of these Hachette titles now, they're doing this thing where the cover art has some augmented reality thing going on. And if you use if you use your phone camera and all of that, I think it's through Google or something, you can hold it up and these covers move and stuff. It's really trippy. But I can't show you that here, so we're just going to read what it's about. It says, "Welcome to Sunder City. The magic is gone, but the monsters remain. I'm Fetch Phillips, just like it says on the window. There are a few things you should know before you hire me. My sobriety costs extra, my services are confidential, and I don't work for humans." Okay? It's nothing personal, I'm human myself, but after what happened to the magic, it's not the humans who need my help. Okay. So it's, I guess, described as a bit of a fantasy noir. Publishers Weekly says, winningly combines the grit of Chinatown with the quirky charm of Harry Potter. And then some other reviews here. A marvelous noir voice, Arnold has captured the spirit of the genre perfectly and wrapped it around a fantasy setting with consummate skill. Well, this could be fun, because I do like noir, and so, yeah, this could be enjoyable. Hopefully it avoids, being one of those things where you read it and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I've read Harry Dresden. I don't need more. Hopefully it, establishes its own identity apart from all of that sort of thing. But The Last Smile in Sunder City by Luke Arnold from Orbit. And last up, and I'm really pleased to have the physical of this at last, is The Wolf of Oren Yarrow. The author is K.S. Veloso. This is a debut novel, and it is the first in a series called The Chronicles of the Bitch Queen. They called me the Bitch Queen, the she-wolf, because I murdered a man and exiled my king the night before they crowned me. It says, from an incredible new voice in epic fantasy comes the tale of a queen who must unite her divided land, even if she's hated by the very people she's trying to protect. Born under the crumbling towers of her kingdom, a Queen Talion, is that? Yeah, look, that's about right. Talion was the shining jewel and legacy of the bloody War of the Wolves. It nearly tore her nation apart, but her arranged marriage to the son of a rival clan heralds peace. However, he suddenly disappears before their reign can begin, and the kingdom is fractured beyond repair. Years later, he sends a mysterious invitation to meet. Talion journeys across the sea in hopes of reconciling their past. An assassination attempt quickly dashes those dreams. Stranded in a land she doesn't know, with no idea whom she can trust, Talion will have to embrace her namesake. A wolf of Oren Yarrow is not tamed. So there we are. This one already sounds like lots of fun, doesn't it? So, available from Orbit. And there we have it. You guys know the drill. Light up those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, and which you would like to see me prioritize for review. Otherwise, if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe. That is how the channel grows. You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's Army get little perks like getting to see some of my videos early access when I get them done early enough. I want to thank all of those wonderful people for their additional support. It is greatly appreciated, very helpful. I want to thank all the rest of you for being the very best viewers in all of BookTube. Remember, stay tuned. In a few hours, just a few hours, a big announcement is coming up on the channel. And until I see you then,